Welcome to another one of our gardening update videos. If you could subscribe to the channel here, that would be great. It would really help us out with the numbers. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to start putting some chapter markings in the description here to make it easier to jump around since this video is a little bit longer. So if you want to go right to the garden tour, you can just go to the description and just click on that link there. So today we're going to take a walk over to my sister's to take a tour of her garden. Last night we had some massive rain. We had about 2 to 3 inches of rain within about an hour. It was crazy, so everything is just super soaking wet right now. I tried to go out this morning and take a little bit of footage of the birds in our garden, but it's just so super wet outside right now. I've been trying to film this rabbit for a while, but this is a little juvenile that was brought over to our place because it came home in the mouth of a cat next door. He seems to have survived okay. Deborah's out in the garden weeding in the morning. She's always weeding, lots and lots of weeding, while the dog sits there and watches. So I started trying to film the hummingbirds. They're just around constantly, just flying around. They're not as easy to film as you would think. Here I'm trying to do it through glass, so it's not really focusing as well as I would like, but still got this little guy okay. The camera is about 2 inches from maybe 4 inches from where the feeder is, so they're not real skittish birds. They'll just come right up to you. I have a picture of Deborah holding the feeder and them eating from her hand. So they're not super skittish birds at all. They're actually pretty aggressive with the other birds. But they didn't seem to like my camera sitting right on top of them. I finally went outside to try to get them here a little bit better. If you hear that little chirping noise, that's them. This is a male ruby throat hummingbird. I'm just outside my patio. The camera out here didn't want to focus either. It also was overheating. The sensor was overheating, so it kept shutting off. So I pretty much spent the afternoon trying to get a couple seconds of this little guy. So there's my sister's house off in the distance back there. And I'm going to walk over and take a look at her garden. That's where we keep the tractors. But today we're going to take a tour of her garden, which is kind of a future look at our garden and what we're trying to do. It's hard to show humidity. It's just so super soaking wet out here, but that's her garden out there in the distance. Hello, George.
Hello.
What are you doing?
Listen.
All right. You started your seed?
For next year. So these came out of melons that we've eaten out of the garden this year. And all we had to do is dry them on a paper towel. I'm labeling them and dating them and hopefully hanging them,
For next year?
Right. This is just melons, but hopefully we'll also have, cucumbers,
Are they
tomatoes,
both
everything.
melons?
These are both various types of cantaloupes, yes.
Chicken for eggs. We're gonna do a garden tour.
All right. Do not put me hobbling down the stairs.
Yep. So this is an example of an established garden. This is kind of the after of what we're going for. How big is it?
Maybe 40 by 40.
Okay, ours is 60 by 30, so it's pretty close.
About the same.
So we got the nice deer fencing to keep out the deer. Oh wait, hold on. Here's your water supply.
Yeah.
This is what feeds the garden right here on both sides. All right.
All three sides. Our upper quadrant is resting this year, so it looks bad. We're composting and resting.
So this is compost and weeds.
And room for children to play.
And what is this?
This is comes off of our gray line, and it feeds water down through the garden and channels out to various parts so that we don't have to water above ground.
So you have quadrants?
Yep.
You have 4 quadrants or 3?
Four quadrants. We're still working on subdividing the left half. Most of our time is spent weeding.
So what do you have here?
We have hard squash here that we'll have for the winter, butternut, acorn, spaghetti squash.
You got some already? Oh gosh, I almost did.
Yep.
Okay.
Our kale is left over and overgrown from the winter, so we'll just let it sit there and we'll pull it out and put in some fresh in the fall. You just can step through this row gingerly. These are obviously tomatoes. And these are interspersed various types of peppers and eggplant. I believe we have.
And you're just planting anything that'll grow right now in this time?
We are, yes. And stuff grows for a long time here. So these are eggplant. They'll produce a lot of eggplant. A lot. I've got one little one down here, but they'll go all the way through September, October. There's a little bitty baby one coming down.
Oh, I see him.
Yep.
Okay. Is eggplant your favorite?
Some family members love it and some hate it. It's a love-hate thing.
Okay. What else you got?
It's hard to kill. We have cucumbers. We have basil. Now this sort of hairy looking mess, that's asparagus, which is out of season because that's a spring crop, but it's storing up energy for next year. So we have a lot of asparagus for next year. But it's kind of unsightly throughout the summer.
We had a super hard rain last night.
A lot of rain last night. So this is basil. Well, this is basil here. We actually started that from seed, which I've not done basil from seed before, but it seems to have worked just fine.
Do you like basil?
Basil, tomatoes, and cucumbers are the kids' summer favorites.
Okay.
And those are the cucumbers over there.
You got any cucumbers on the vine?
You know, we usually do. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, there is.
Where do we have a cucumber?
There
There-
should be one right here.
There's one right here. Let's see. There's one there. Right there.
You got another one?
You have to be
There's-
careful.
there's a
You miss them
small
for a day
one
or
right
two, and all of
there.
a sudden they're sort of club-sized.
It's sort of small.
Half of these are pickling cucumbers and half are eating cucumbers, but
Gotcha.
you can eat the pickling ones too.
So do you eat cucumbers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, what else you got?
Let's take my time and get to
Well, this quadrant we're in the process of planting, so we're
So
weeding.
right now you're weeding.
We're weeding and planting this quadrant right now. That one's producing pretty well, so we'll just let it go. But when it starts dying out, we want some stuff already established in the next quadrant to keep things moving, because our growing season's so long.
Okay, and so you have a melon patch?
We have a melon patch. We have to exit the upper garden to go to the lower garden.
This is your high-tech,
Yeah,
wait, what we have planted and
old tags.
also the locking mechanism.
Yeah, very high tech there.
It's very high-tech. Did you come up with that?
No.
No.
Kind of want to make sure you have your tetanus shot. for that.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, but the chicken's still going
The
Yeah.
chickens still go in there?
Chickens are like fresh vegetables too.
So all of your water just comes from this line right here?
Yes. It splits off 3 ways, to the left, to the right, and the center.
Is it just on all the time?
Something is on all the time. One direction has to be on all the time.
And the rain can go on that thing and wash.
And the rain goes in there and washes down there.
You can see the current direction is this way. You can see that that's...
Okay, so it goes down there and just feeds the rest of the
We
garden?
have a
Correct.
cucumber right here. Pretty weeded.
A cucumber? Itty bitty one.
And some green beans.
Green beans?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sure enough. One little green bean.
Oh, there's more than one.
Tomatoes off here as we walk by. These are yellow pear tomatoes because they're in the shape of a pear. They're yummy on salad. Yeah, be careful not to walk through the...
Yeah, don't.
Yeah. It rained so much last night, the garden's sinking.
So this is your melon patch. The garden is sinking because it rained so much last night? This is your melon patch? So you're in charge of the melon patch?
Yeah.
You're managing the melon patch. What is that?
The water.
All right, so what are you doing with this?
So we have watermelon, cantaloupe, and pumpkin in here. These are all very sprawling, vining vegetables and fruits, so that's why they're kind of out here sprawling all over the place.
So you can see they're just, I have to zoom in to see. Got one there,
There's a watermelon here.
there's one there.
Here's one.
And they're smaller watermelons on purpose.
Yes, they're more basketball sized. The larger ones take longer to develop, and for us, it's just higher risk of death. So we work with ones that ripen faster.
Here's a little one. Oh, he looks shriveled. He's gonna die.
Gosh.
Now there's a nice cantaloupe down there, Mary. Go around the outside.
Yeah, go
corner.
show me the cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe. Well, you don't have to go in the mud. Wow, we really did lose kind of a lot of soil.
Yeah.
This
What was that epic rain?
was epic. But the melons will double in size
That's
today
a
because of
cantaloupe.
it.
Oh, here's
That
one
looks
over
like a
here,
good
too.
cantaloupe.
Yeah, it will be.
Here's over here.
Cantaloupe leaves are heart-shaped, and watermelon
See,
leaves are
That
oak leaf
looks
shaped.
bigger.
There's another one right behind it.
Yeah, there is another one there. And here's a baby.
Where?
There's another watermelon.
I just want to get your feet walking through the mud.
Oh, my. It is quite damp. Ooh. Okay, maybe don't go back in the house.
Okay, and so that is the lower garden,
That's the lower garden.
and this is the upper garden.
Yes.
This is the lower garden, and that's the upper garden because that is the upper, and this is the lower
Elevation.
elevation. Okay, well named. I think we're gonna have one large area. All right, so that's the garden tour from the next door neighbors. Hopefully we will have some
We'll have some.
vegetables
To
of
share.
the same.
Yes.
Oh.
Now, those are Roma tomatoes.
Those look good.
Yes, they will be. Those are
Wow, there's a
Romas.
lot of them.
And the ones next door, it's actually an heirloom variety called Jubilee. They'll actually turn yellow, not red.
Very nice. And you do have a lot of tomatoes on here.
Yes, they are
These are
heavy producers. These are just cherry tomatoes.
cherry tomatoes. Do you like the cherry tomatoes, Mary? Yeah.
We like them because they're quick and easy for salads, and they produce heavily and consistently.
Oh, there's some.
Yep. So
Okay.
I want to shower.
if they make
Do
it
it.
to the salad. Oh, thank you. Darling. Appreciate that.
Okay. So
That's
that,
Uncle Scott.
got me too. All right, so that is the garden tour. We're gonna try to do potatoes or you're gonna try to do potatoes in barrels.
We're gonna do potatoes and barrels, and we're gonna start a strawberry raised bed.
I'm gonna search.
You're gonna
In the
do
fall.
in the fall. Okay. We're gonna try carrots, maybe vidalias, maybe potatoes, green peppers.
I think we're gonna also try blueberries in the spring.
Oh, it's okay.
This is the
That's like
cousin. This is the cousin of our cat.
skinnier, wilder
The
cousin.
skinnier, wild version of our orange cat. Okay, we're back over at our place now. Thanks for taking the garden tour with us over at my sister's house. Coming up in the next garden update video, we're going to have the tractor out there tilling up the area that we're going to make for our garden, the big giant rectangle. And as always, if you can hit that subscribe button, we would really appreciate it. Thanks so much. See you here again soon.